So again, let's try to get a bunch of this done. All right. So again, I already did some of this with the other algebra class. So I think what I want to do is I want to spend some time doing the evens with you guys. Let's get in the right one. All right, here we go. Pretty easy, pretty easy. All right, but again, some of them are thinking questions, so I want you to be real careful, please. All right, so here we go. So question number 2, like I said, I already did question 1, or I did the odds with my other class. I want to just knock out the evens with you. Then for those of you guys who are a little motivated to go home tonight, if you want to make a good grade, you want to verify things, go through, do the odds, and then check them. All right, tomorrow I'll do the odds with you also. All right, Thursday. All right, so here we go. Now for question number 2, we got to distribute correctly. So we would say negative 2x plus 1 is greater than negative 5x minus 20. Moving things around, 3x is greater than negative 21. Everybody happy with that? And so now we would just say x is greater than negative 7. All right. Now, also, please don't forget on this, all right, that I know it says graph, but really I'm interested in what? Interval notation. All right. So I'd like for you to be able to start by making sure you see the numbers accurately. So if x is greater than negative 7 in interval notation, we would just say it's what? Everybody happy with that? Easy, right? Yes, sir. Yeah, nothing getting pulled by a bunch of girls, right? Thank you, girls, for helping him. So welcome. All right. So do you see it now, right? All right, here we go. Negative 7 to infinity. Let's check out number 6. Same principle, I believe. All right. Negative 9x plus 12 is greater than negative 12x minus 12. Everybody agreeing that it would be what? X is greater than perfect. So x would be what? Oh, negative. Greater than negative 8. Everybody happy with that? If it's greater than negative 8, that means negative 8 to infinity. Yes, sir. Can we do number 4? Did I skip that? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know why. Oh, because I've done it already. So let's just do that. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why. I just jumped right over that. All right, here we go. So let's verify this again. Good problem. So we have 2x minus 12x plus 32 is less than negative 12, right? Now I think it's important to combine terms, right? So we would say negative 10x is less than negative 44, right? So to me, I like fractions. So this would be 44 over 10.
You made a mistake. You made a mistake. You have to switch the direction of.
Oh, I haven't finished the problem yet. Give me a break.
But you already divided by a negative.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. What is negative 10x divided by negative 10?
So we got 44 is the same as what?
22 on the back.
Unless I made another mistake. Is everybody good? So now, if you're greater than, it would just be. Does that make sense? All right. Well, graphing that, honestly, if you didn't know it was 4.4, you would just say, here's 22 fifths, And here's negative 22/5. Greater than. Right?
We're not going to graph.
Probably not. Right? Sometimes I tell kids if you need to graph to help you, you can. Does that make sense? Right? Sometimes it's easier if you can see the number line before you do the interval notation. All right? But it's not necessary. All right? So now let's take a look at, everybody, let me give you a second to do number 8. All right? Let me give you a second to do number 8. All right, so distributing. Everybody happy with that so far?
Yeah.
So now combining terms. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I think just moving things around is okay. Is that right so far?
Yeah.
So now we're going to divide by a negative, so we have 2. So x is greater than 45/13. Everybody good with that? And if we're greater than, it would be from. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Greater than 45/13. Any problems? All right, I don't think that was that hard. All right, let's check out. Now what I want to do is let's review the ones that I say think about, because I think those are the important ones. All right, so let's do 9, 10, 11, 12. You should be in good shape here. All right, now here's how I'd want you to look at this, guys. Stop and just listen. Look up. This is just something I would want you to look at something and say, that doesn't make sense. All right? So that's why I would hopefully you'd look at that and just say, there's something wrong. It doesn't make sense. Right? Because 3x plus 9, when is 3x plus 9 greater than 3x minus 7? That's not possible. If you take a number and add 9 and take the same number and subtract 7, when you add 9, it's always going to be what? Greater. So that's why we say there is no solution. All right? There's no solution. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
I think that makes sense. All right, let's look at 10. All right? So in this case, it's what? All real numbers. Thank you. Those of you guys are thinking. Right. Negative 2x plus 1 is always greater than negative 2x minus 8. All right? So in this case, it would be from what? Negative infinity to infinity. All right? Everybody okay with that? All right. So now that you're thinking a little bit, let's take a look carefully at number 11. So when we distribute, 6x is greater than negative 12 plus 6x. All numbers. Very good. I'm listening.
But wouldn't 6x be greater than 6x plus or minus 12?
Yes, that's why it's all reals.
Oh.
If it's a true statement, it's all reals. If it's a false statement, it's no solution.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right, let's take a look at 12. All right. So now, obviously, this is what? Do you agree? No solution, right? Everybody happy with that? No solution. No, we're not. All right. I would like everybody to look at 13, or actually look at 14. All right, that makes sense. There's nothing really to do there, right? It's just, do you know the interval notation? Everybody okay with number 14? Which one do you want me to look at? 13. Let's take a look at 13 for a quick second. Yeah. Right, but listen, I would want you now to try to understand numbers. Right, so in your head, I want you thinking about less than -2 or what? Greater than 5. You can't be both, right? No, you don't have to. All right, I just think sometimes it's better. All right, it helps you understand the numbers sometimes. But after you do it a couple times, you don't need that anymore. All right, hopefully you understand what I mean. All right, so let's take a look at 16. Everybody look at 16, because we kind of did that as a class just to make sure they understood. All I'm doing is what to both sides? Right. And don't forget that means x is between what? Yes. Or we could just say x is between -2 and 4. Yes, sir. Yeah, they're all going to be similar, but all right. But all you're doing is just solving them individually. Do you understand that? So you're just solving this inequality first, right? And then you're solving this inequality second, right? Is that good? All right. All right. So let's take a look at. Let's everybody take a look at 18. I'm just going to go ahead and erase 18 because I think everybody should do 18. All right. All right, everybody take a look at 18. Now for 18, what do I have to do to both sides? Add 7, right? So when you add 7, you'll get negative. Everybody okay with that? And then what? Divide everything by 3, so you end up with. Yeah, x is between -4 and 5. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want you to be able to tell me. -4, 5. Sound effects are nice. All right, number 19. Let's think about it, even though you see the answer. All right. Now again, this is the kind of stuff I'm trying to tell you. This helps you in the long run, meaning you can understand numbers. You see them different than most people. All right, so when somebody says what numbers are less than -2 and greater than 2, you should look at them like, what are you talking about? Is that possible to be less than -2 and greater than 2? Right? That's why it is what? No solution. It is no solution because you can't be in both places. You can't be less than -2 and greater than 2. That is not possible. All right? So make yourself a note. Try to visualize that. No way can you be less than -2 and greater than 2. All right, so let's look at the next one carefully. All right, so now I want to take a look at number 20. All right? I want you thinking about it. All right, here we go. So that's nothing to that one, right? That's not even a trick question. Right? So that's just what? Yeah.
Instead of bracket, you bracket,
All right. I feel good about that. All right. The next ones on there pretty much are just a repeat. I just made extra problems. Does everybody agree with that? All right. So I want to continue on. All right. Now what I want to do is I want everybody to look at 26. All right. I want everybody to try to give me the answer, the explanation to 26. All right. Requires some thought. Requires some thought. Walker, what are you thinking, bud?
I'm trying to think about it.
That's exactly what I want you to do. What do you think? But now you have to tell me why, though, right? Listen to him loud and proud. Go.
Less than 2 greater than -2,
So what he's trying to say is, if you were looking at this on the number line, it would be going like this, and it would be going like this, which wouldn't that mean it's just between -2 and 2? So what's the answer again? But why? Tell me. What do you think?
It's all real numbers because it can either be greater than -2 or less than 2. And it's not a number that's less than 2 or greater than 2. There's no number that's not one of these.
That's exactly the best way to say that. All right, and he's right. But what I was trying to get you to understand is what makes it different. That it's an or statement and not a what.
Yeah.
And. So listen to my explanation again. He said it perfectly. You fit in one of those categories. You're either what? Greater than -2, or you're what? Less than 2. Everybody with me on that? So, and again, let me put this up on just to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Here are my possibilities, right? I can either be, please listen to me, I can either be over here, I can either be in here, or I would be what? Over here. Does everybody understand what I'm getting at, right? Now, if I am over here in this particular box right now, I would be what? I would be less than 2. So that would be okay, right? Because it's an or statement. It only has to be true for one of them. Now, please pay attention. In this statement right here, anything in here, I'm what? I'm both of them. Do you hear what I'm saying? From -2 to 2, I am greater than -2 and less than 2. So does that satisfy one of the conditions? The answer would be yes. And over here, I am what? Over in here, I am greater than what? -2. I'm just not what? Less than 2. But what I'm showing you now is in all 3 cases, I've satisfied one of the conditions. Is everybody with me? That's why the answer is what? -infinity to infinity. All right. And again, listen, if you're not quite there, I totally understand. All right. But you need to think about it over and over until it makes sense. Because that's the most important thing, is understanding what we're talking about when we talk about numbers and conditions. All right? Here we go. Now let's take a look at, I'm just going to skip down because we're going to do, let's just do 29 and 30. All right, since I did the others. All right. Now we're into absolute value inequalities, which means first thing I have to isolate the absolute value. So I have to divide by 3 first. So we would say absolute value of 2 minus x is less than or equal to 2, right? Then we would write down 2 minus x is less than or equal to 2. And then we would say 2 minus x is greater than or equal to -2. Is everybody what? So again, you have to think back a couple days. We were doing absolute value inequalities. Because it's an absolute value inequality, you have to write it out as less than, or you have to write it out as what? Greater than. All right? So your absolute value inequalities, now some people did really bad on the test because they forgot that for the absolute value inequalities, you have to write two equations down. All right? Or two inequalities. All right? So now from here, it's not that difficult. We would just say that negative x is less than or equal to 0. Therefore, x is greater than or equal to 0. Everybody good with that? Yes, what we're doing. Correct. All right. Now, from here, we would say what? Negative x is greater than or equal to negative 4, so x is less than or equal to 4. So is this an and statement or an or statement? I prefer that you don't memorize. I prefer that you understand. You're recognizing these numbers. If I'm greater than 0, less than 4, it is a what? And. Because I am greater than 0 and I am what? Less than 4. All right? So my answer is bracket 0, 4. Anybody have any issues with that? Yes, very simple. All right? If you're less than, we're going to remember that it's an and statement. If it's greater than, we're going to remember that it's a what? That's how you do it. Or statement. All right? But I would prefer that you look at this and say, that is an and statement because I am less than 4 and I am greater than 0. And then when I solve this, they're going in the opposite direction, so it has to be an or. All right? So you see what I mean here. So we would say 9x minus 18 is greater than or equal to 27. 9x minus 18 is less than or equal to negative 27. All right? And now, when you solve that out, when you solve that out, you end up with 9x is greater than what? 9x is greater than or equal to 45, so x is greater than or equal to, and then over here, 9x is less than or equal to negative 9, so x is less than or equal to, now do you see what I'm trying to say? If you're greater than 5, can you also be less than negative 1? So it's an or statement, right? So we would say from negative infinity to what? Negative 1, union. We would say what? 5 to infinity. Is everybody okay with that?
I don't understand how you got that. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Is it wrong if you put the other order? It has to be in
Remember, small to large. Always read numbers left to right. You with me? I don't get mad if you write it out of order. I just say, you know what I mean? It's kind of common sense. You read numbers left to right. Then it's very helpful. All right, so let's go to some thinking questions here. All right. So 33, obviously.
no solution.
Obviously no solution.
All
Ooh. Is it all real numbers or no solution?
no solution because the absolute value can't be a
Right, so look at carefully. So if it can't be negative, that means it has to be what? And when is a positive greater than a negative?
Wait, what? What just happened? What is this? What just happened? No.
People were thinking that was just happening.
But what? I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
Listen to this explanation. Go.
Well, you can't have a number that absolute value that's less than a negative. So if you don't have negative, it has to be positive and be less than.
Okay, let me explain it a little better. Anytime you take the absolute value of a number, it's always going to be what? It's always going to be what? So the question is, if this is always positive and this is negative, positive is always greater than a negative. So it doesn't matter what value of x you put in. When you take the absolute value of that number, it's going to be greater than what? -4. Come on, don't think now, girl. Come on, stop. Right? When you take the absolute value of a number, you get a what? You get a positive number, unless it's 0. But still, 0 is greater than what? -4. You understand now why it doesn't matter what number. All right, so since you understood that correctly, then that's one that's no solution. Right? The reason why that's the no solution is because when you take the absolute value of something, it will be positive, and a positive can't be less than a negative. Very good. Come on, concentrate. Everybody okay with that? All right, that's not that bad. All right, but you can't memorize that. That's understanding. Right? If you don't see it, it's not going to do you any good on a test. No, I did not say that. You're not thinking. Look up one more time. When I take the absolute value of a number, it's going to be what? Tell me. Hey, look up for just a second and relax. Look, this number right here, watch how simple this is. You ready? This number right here, if I take the absolute value of a number, it's always going to be what? Good. It's always going to be positive. Does that make sense or not? You sure that makes sense? So now my question to you is this. Listen. When is a positive less than a negative? That's why it's no solution. You with me? Now, if you go back on this one, when is the positive greater than a negative? That's why that's the answer now. You with me on that? Now, on the other problems, you have to recognize here, because there's no negative over here, it's just the traditional way, or it's just the algorithm, we say. Set it up, and then you change the signs. Everybody good on that now? All right, here we go. Let's move on. All right, now we're going to graph some. All right. All right, so somebody tell me how to graph this one. Connor, go. McConnell, I don't know what I'm saying. I was thinking about our good. And then what?
And then you go down 3 and to the right 4.
Beautiful. Down 3 to the right 4. What type of line? Why is it solid? Because it's equal to. Beautiful. Right? And now from there we're going to what? Yep, we're going to shade below. Right? Shade below the mountain. Anybody have any questions for that?
The reason below the mountain is because it's less than.
Wow, very good. Greater than would be what?
Over the mountain.
Over the mountain. Very good. Very special. Good. All right, here we go. Graphing greater than or equal to negative 2x. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you start at the point 0, 0.
Yes, you do. Plot 0, 0. Down how many?
2.
And?
2 and over.
Beautiful. Go down 2 over 1. And then,
It's a solid line.
yep, it is.
And then you above the mountain.
Are we above the mountain? So we're going to shade. Hopefully you realize we're going to shade above, right?
5.
Everybody agree with that? Now keep in mind, we're not saying to the left or to the right. We're saying above and below. Anybody have any questions? That was, let's double check. That was number 38. Yes.
I thought when we did it yesterday, we just put a line at -2.
That was if it was y is greater than -2, but there has to an x there.
Oh.
So
it was just like y is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to.
So let's look at 42. All right. So on 42, this is where we would say it's just a horizontal line at what?
At 2.
Brilliant. Right?
Yes.
And then we're shaded where?
Above the mountain.
Why is that?
No, below the mountain.
Why is that?
Because it's a less than.
Yep, less than, we're below the mountain. That was number 42. All right. So let's check out. Let's do 46. Let's do 46. All right. So we always have to solve for what? Y. So here we go. -6y is less than -4x minus 6. And then I have to do what?
It says switch the signs.
Yep. Divide by -6. So y is what?
Greater than -2/3. No, positive 2/3.
Give everything.
6, 1.
Always reduce fraction. So y is greater than 2/3 x plus 1. So now we have to do what?
Up to over 3.
Wrong. What do I have to do?
Oh, 1. I had already done that on my paper.
Sure. Go up 1, plot a point. Now from there I go. Up what?
3.
Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. Now, the question now is, what type of line? Dotted line, right? And so some of you guys who did not dot your line, go ahead and erase everything.
Dot your eyes. I'm awful at dotted lines.
And we're shading where? Shading where? Wow. Like
It's a ball. A bug's life. What is that? A movie now? Yes.
all right. Anybody have any questions? I didn't think so. All right, so now, again, let me just stress what I'm saying. All right, tonight, go out, have a little fun. But try to do a little bit of math before you go out.
Yeah.
All right? I really don't want to try to come in tomorrow and try to do every problem that I haven't done. All right? Again, especially for those guys who I talk to about, you got to do more, not less. All right? If you want a better grade, you got to do more. All right? The odd problems are up on YouTube right now if you want to double check yourself. All right? Please get some work done tonight. You don't have to finish everything, just enough that you're going to do well on your test. Continue working.